Oh, I lost a subscriber. It happens. All right, let's get set up. Let's get set up to make this cube set. These boxes over here. What is real? Asking for a friend. I can go there. All this crap. Oh, I need to put those in my car. Gotta get my taxes done. All this stuff. Oh my god, I just need space to put everything. Make these boxes too. All right. Put on some light. Let's get rolling onto the all right, let's make this cube set. Move this over. Where is my rolling stand? Where did I put it? Where did I put my rolling stand? Huh. I moved a bunch of stuff. I cleaned up a bunch of stuff, and don't know where I put that. Interesting. Where did I put it? I mean, I don't absolutely need it, but definitely makes life a little bit easier. In the midst of all this, I'm also making dinner. So I'm going to have to stop at some point or run into the kitchen and pull dinner out of the oven. Okay. Here's what it is. Have I adjusted? No, I haven't adjusted that. Okay. Where did I put this stupid stand? All right. Hopefully I can get a full cube set out of this. This could get really interesting really quickly. No, I need hearing protection before I get going. Okay. I honestly don't know if I'll be able to get a complete set out of this, because this is not a full 4x4. I really need my rolling stand. What did I do with it? Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Ow! Son of a gun. Just got a splinter. All right. This cube set is going to be a wedding gift for somebody. It's an interesting order. They did a special request on the King Kubb for a new rune. So this is going to be a little bit different than the normal engraving I do. Bag full, almost. One of these days I'll have a good setup for this. I think I have enough. I really hope I have enough. Been a very busy weekend for me. Lots of yard work. Trying to keep up with the weed eating this year. Instead of the weeds getting really, really tall around the edges of my fence and in my in the ditch between houses. Weed eating and edging. That was a lot of today. And mowing. I did all of it today instead of almost screwed that up. Oh yeah, I have plenty here. All right, got my 10 cubes, and now the king. It's not enough for another king, is it? Oh, almost. It's just that could be another king. Can I get 2 cubes out of it? I cannot. So I'm going to turn that into another king. Save that. Save that as a king for another set because I know I'm going to get more orders. Hello, hello. Oh, who do we have here? Hello, PM Bingo. Hey, Keith, what's up? And Jam Belhar. Hello, hello. We got another order for a Kubb set. This is actually a repeat order. Customer, where the heck is my pencil? I have one in the drawer. Yeah, this is a repeat customer from Etsy. I have probably 5 freaking pencils, and now I can't find a single one. Why would I? Have one in here? Nope. One in there. Oh, there it is right there. I need to sharpen it. Yeah, this is a repeat customer from Etsy. I love having repeat customers. This is a gift for somebody, a wedding gift. So they requested a custom change to the king, which I was perfectly all right with. I don't mind custom orders. It's just a different rune. The king. Oh, this knife needs to be sharpened. That's really, really dull. Took the tip off of it. Son of a gun, I just did it again. That should be good enough. I don't know that I actually did anything by doing that. Need to get the drive to go unload the tools out of the truck. Ooh. Use the sander. That's a brilliant idea. I'll actually do that after after I mark this one up and I get to sanding everything. I don't know why this screws me up every time I do it. I don't know how many of these stupid things I've made. And I still haven't, like, the process hasn't become second nature for these kings. Until I really get into it. See, now I've got a flow. Oh, the other day when I was on here and I was trying to remember who the YouTuber was that I watch. His name is Dan. I forget what it was I was doing, but I learned something from him. Elegant Woodcraft. Here we go. He just did a live a little bit ago. I missed it. I like his lives. It's kind of a no bullshit guy. I don't even know why I draw these lines. These last two. All I need is the center mark. And I only need the... Okay, whatever. One of these days I'll figure it out. I've only done 30 of these by this point. Helping your buddy rebuild his porch cover. Nice. Nice. All right. I need my... Uh-oh, where is it? Uh-oh, I can't have lost that piece. That's a critical piece. My block of walnut with a cut in it. Oh no, what did I do with it? Be lost without it. Where did I put it? Yeah. Oh, it looks like it fell down there. Okay. I figured it was probably over here. It looks like it fell down right here. Yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. Get my spacer block. Oops, wrong one. Blue. Oh, I got to move those to the sander anyway. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so I got a lot of weed eating done, a lot of edging, mowing, all that stuff. Trying to keep the yard looking good this year instead of just half-assing it. Instead, I'm going to whole-ass it. All right, 45 right there. That's good. Clamp that down. Okay. Oh, I'm at my half degree. All right, I think that's going to be better. I wonder if this isn't big enough. I need it. If I need more, because I'm not quite. I really considered that I might not. Ow! God dang it! That hurt. And I might not actually be going all the way through. No, that did. Okay. I don't know. Maybe my lines are off a little bit. A little chunk broken off there. The first time I did this, I tried to do this on the table saw. That did not go well. I mean, you could do it, but it was not pretty. All right. Not my worst job, not my best job. But it's good enough. Set this back to 0. Oh, wrong one. Set that back to 0. So I'm going to need that for the lines, which is 70. I think it's 78 millimeters. I should know that number by now too. No, that's not right. Maybe I'm thinking 7 inches. I don't know. I'll wait till I engrave it with laser and cut those lines in there. All right, time to sand. And then start engraving. So I'm going to pull crap off the laser. And I am short one baton. That sucks. That means I need to go buy a piece to get that other baton. The camera prop, I still haven't done anything with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach there. I've seen one version of the Graflex camera that had a silver or aluminum front to it and then a black lens. Should I do the whole thing black? I think I might actually paint that black. Do it all black and have a silver lens surround. I think that might look better. Move some of this stuff around. Let's see here. Sorry, I just gotta get these clamps put somewhere else. And then move power over. And then get to sanding. Ooh, I'll sand the pencil too. Good suggestion. One day I'll have a power strip again, and I can get everything powered at once. Today is not that day, though. I plugged in the wrong thing. I think I plugged in the vacuum there. All right. Let's try this one. Come on. There we go. One moment. Be right back. I'm gonna go pull dinner out of the oven. Oh, that hurt. All right, sorry about that. Another 12 minutes until dinner's done. That meat had to cook a little bit more. All right. In those 12 minutes, I should be able to get these other cubes done. While I'm sanding this, got a question for anybody who might be watching and actually paying attention. What's been your best seller over the last year or so? If that's something that you do, make stuff to sell it. For me, it's been these coupe sets. These are I made 25 of these last year. It's not 30, and it's been a pretty awesome seller. The margin on it is pretty good. Could probably do better, but it's definitely been my best seller. So, what's been y'all's best seller over the last year, and what do you plan on doing this year that might be a little bit different? You haven't really said anything. I'll check it in a minute. Yeah. Peanuts. Alarm just went off to pull the meat out of the oven. I did sharpen my pencil. I'll be right back. I guess I can leave the mic on. I don't need to take that off. Be right back. All right, let's see if we got this to 145 degrees. Finally. Meat thermometer. Shove that deep inside. Oh yeah, it's gonna get up to 145. Already tell. Oh yeah. She good. Alright. Wipe that off. Let that rest for 5 minutes. Take the veggies out of the oven. Oh my. Oh, those look delicious. I wish I had Parmesan cheese to put on those. But I don't. Just gonna have to leave them as they are. So I have boneless pork tenderloin and roasted vegetables for dinner tonight. I have zucchini, squash, potatoes, and onions tossed in olive oil and garlic. A little salt and pepper. Should add a little cayenne to it, but I didn't. Just as a little bit of a kick. Okay, so we are now ready to have a beer. And start lasering. That's going to be the next step. So I'm going to move everything over so I can laser. What is up, Mike? Thanks for stopping by. I watched a little bit of your stream last night. I didn't say hello. I mean, it was literally, I was on there for like a minute. But you guys were in a pretty deep discussion about skills for, if the world goes to shit, which it very well could. I don't really believe it will, but it could. All right, let's move all this stuff over so I can start using the laser. Get these cubes engraved. Yeah, I have faith that in my lifetime, it'll be status quo. Get those to my students tomorrow. Those are overdue. The coasters. Your apocalypse video, huh? Yeah. I'm a firm believer. I forget who I read. It might have been Michael Crichton. I can't remember. Actually, I think it was Crichton. He wrote a book called The State of Fear. I think that was what it's called. And it was about man-made environmental terrorism. But the underlying theme of it was, a lot of people take it as, problems with the environment, they're bullshit. Like, they're all made up. Oh, that's not what I got out of that book. I may just be naive. I don't know. But what I got out of that book was the main theme of it anyway was every generation has its oh shit, right? Every generation, pretty much since the dawn of time. You can look at specific examples. Shoot, I gotta check this. Well, I'm gonna pull up Lightburn here. So in the 50s, you had 50s and 60s. It was oh shit, the Russians are going to get us. In the 70s and 80s, it was Nam. And then it was the environment. Environment was a big focus in the 80s. What am I looking for? Kubb. Sets. Rooms. Why do I only have 2 on here? Because it's the one I have turned on, the very last one. Focal distance 18.9. We'll see about that. In the 80s, it was, oh shoot, no, that's way too hot. That's way too low. Well, maybe not. Let's see here. In the 80s, we had, oil embargo, or I guess that was the 70s. But, we had, still, we were worried about Russia. The commies were going to get us. I guess that's one too high, maybe. Pull off one sheet here. No, actually, that might be right. Is that right? That's actually not bad. Sweet, just a little bit defocused, the way I like it. In the 90s, it was, we had the dot-com boom, and then we had the collapse. And, the 2000s, it's the fall of our kids being able to learn skills and do things because they rely too much on computers. And now we're worried about AI as well as other things, But anyway, it's a really interesting book. I really, really enjoyed it. But the big thing I got out of that was every generation has something to worry about. A lot of it manufactured by our governments. Is it truly a problem? CXX. Okay. Or is it just manufactured to give people something to worry about because they need something to worry about? Anyway, interesting book, interesting read. Isn't really that vain. There's a big. Well, yeah, 2000 we had Y2K, but that only lasted for a minute, right? Especially once Y2K happened, everyone went, "Oh, planes didn't fall out of the sky." But then it became, that technology was really taking over, and a lot of people said, "Oh, if we rely too much on technology, they're going to take away all our jobs. They took our jobs," right? Like South Park. But that hasn't really happened yet. I mean, sure, like there's self checkout, and you go into McDonald's and you use a kiosk or you use an app or something, but as in the grand scheme of things, has it really affected our society in a way that is meaningful? Like, have we lost skilled positions? Maybe unskilled positions, some of them, not a lot, but some. and I'm perfectly okay with that. I forget who said it, but someone said, I don't think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, but it might have been. You replace unskilled labor with automation, and that unskilled labor learns a skill, and so it actually benefits society as a whole. Um, to go ahead and make that adjustment. Blue collar tradesman. Now that I agree 100%. And my son, love him to death, wicked smart kid, but he's really interested in doing mechanical stuff. I thought he was going to be, he was going to go off to college and do, be a scientist. He wanted to study science. Well, he really is not a good student. He takes after his dear old dad. I'm a terrible student. Just because I get lazy, and so does he. Um, but so my wife and I kind of noticed that he's really interested in learning how to like do stuff, right? The woodworking part of it, I've tried to get him involved. Not really interested in that, but he wants to learn how to weld. He wants to learn how to be a mechanic, a car mechanic. So his first car, we've been looking for a used car that needed some work to give him something to do. And the last time I did an oil change, although it was really jacked up because my oil filter was stuck onto the car, but he was all into it, right? He was all into troubleshooting it and trying to figure out how we could get this damn oil filter off, and yada yada yada. So, he's going to do work on his own vehicle. We luckily I found him one that doesn't need a lot of work, but he needs a new rear main seal. I don't know if we're going to pull the motor or if I'm going to get somebody else to do that because I don't really have access to a engine hoist. But there's other things that he can do that'll need to be done on it. It'll work in the meantime. Um, but he's gonna learn. And my oldest daughter, her car, 15-year-old is now certified to weld. That's awesome. I don't know if you follow Mike Rowe at all, but he really pushes the blue collar work, the tradesmen, the crafts. And I'd be really proud of my son if that's what he did. Or God forbid he has to go into the military. College might just not be for him, but he could learn a skill. I mean, I learned how to be an electrician in the Navy. Not a very good one, but I learned a bit about electricity. I can wire shit up in the house. It's a little bit different than marine electrical, and I know how a nuclear reactor works, and that's what I do now. Is I mess with that. Politically, that doesn't tend to sway the same as most in our niche. Well, 6.5 dozen the other. Like, politics aside, micro sort of bugs you. Yeah, I got it. He's not for every. He can be very outspoken with some of his politics. He's very right leaning. I like to think of myself as more of a libertarian than anything else, but if I got to lean one way or the other, I lean right typically. But a lot of that comes from my time in the military. I don't know. The military is perfect for the left. Perfect society. That's what I've come to understand. Do a little bit of work, get everything for free. Hey, that's cool, man. And you know what? But you may be left leaning, but you don't push your politics on people. I've never once heard you say anything like that. You're very centrist. So I think you'll be just fine. And yeah, I never would have guessed one way or the other which way you lean, but it doesn't bother me. I'm not one of the people that leans right and goes, the left is all jacked up. No, I mean, some people on the left have some valid points, and I think there's a way to get somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be one way or the other. Um, but like I was saying, like I just tend to lean right because of my experiences in the Navy and the bad experiences I had were very, very much left leaning, and I don't necessarily agree with it. So I tend to veer away from it. But that's not to say that I can't look at both sides, that look at arguments and try to make a informed decision. I mean, I had a pretty good discussion with somebody a couple of years ago when we went to go pick up Christmas wreaths for the kids or for the band. He's very, very right, very anti-Obama. I was like, Obama wasn't that bad of a president. Like, actually did a lot of good for the country, but he just couldn't see that because all he saw was his, what the policies of Obama did for him specifically, not people as a whole. Parties are a pendulum. Check the highs of a lot of good old, yeah, absolutely. But I actually kind of like Obama. I actually voted for Obama. The first time I ever voted, I voted for Obama. Of course, since then I've leaned a little bit more to the right, and but it is what it is. I really don't care one way or another what people think, who they vote for, and all that. Like, I'll give people crap, but that's just my nature. What I don't like is the extreme on either side, right or left. The extreme is where I draw a line. Well, I think I see the pendulum shifting back to the left. I think these midterms are going to show um, our current administration is not very popular. But the problem with that is, like, I live in North Carolina. I work in Virginia. And the policies that Spamberger in Virginia has been espousing and getting laws made and whatnot in Virginia, man, Virginians are screwed. They're turning into the next California. And I'm sorry, like, California is just fucked. That's one state that, man, they're really screwed. But again, like, I'm all for, like, people being able to express themselves, be what they want to be, and that's why I like to think of myself as more libertarian than anything else. You go you do you, boo. You go be whatever you want to be. I just don't want the government to pay for it. That's all. Yeah, well, in my job too, I see a lot of pendulum swings, not politically, but with just the way that we handle business, and it'll never stop in the middle. It keeps moving. It's a perpetual pendulum, and we're never going to get to a place that everybody's happy because that's impossible. What we need to get to is a place where we can accept the current reality, exist through it without being douchebags to everybody. That's the big thing. Like, you and I can disagree, and I don't mean you specifically, Mike, but you, the royal you and I can disagree, but that doesn't mean we need to be assholes to each other. It just means we disagree. And let shit play out. And if it works one way or the other, cool. Doesn't necessarily mean we were right or wrong. It just means that's the way it worked out. Is it the best way? Not necessarily. We can always try something different. People demand infrastructure, services like fire, police, strong military. Don't want to pay. Well, and yeah, see, that's one. I definitely think there needs to be a way to fund those things. And I think that's really what all the politics really boils down to is what are my taxes paying for? What am I paying for? And do I agree with it? I wholeheartedly agree. we need to we need to fund the public services. There's some lines that need to be drawn though when it comes to some things. And a lot of disagreements stem from that. I think teachers need to be paid more. I think nurses need to be paid more. There's a lot of jobs in this country that are so underappreciated when it comes to compensation. My wife works in the medical field, and I mean she's not a nurse, but like the shit that nurses go through, holy crap! Never understood it until I got to hear about it every single day. My neighbors are both cops. The crap that they go through, they are way underfunded. Firefighters, EMS, all those. Anything that's in a public service for the public good really deserves more. And especially teachers. Our teachers are ridiculously underfunded. Like, ever since getting really deep with the band, I appreciate what the teachers at the school, not just the band director, but other teachers do a lot more. How much extra effort they put in just because they care. Yeah, exactly. You do you, right? If you're not hurting somebody, I like that. More of a Taoist standpoint. Uh, start this one. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, right. I, oh man, there's again, it's what we see in the media or social media, not even the media, but the social media, often is the far left, the far right. It's the extremes. I have plenty of friends who lean left. I have plenty of friends who lean right. I have some that are way more in the middle. And like they're not the crazies. They're not the ones that but then again, what they have to say is not going to get clicks. I don't know. I just want to live my life and do my thing. The army. That's interesting. See, that's what the Navy turned me more right because I grew up in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is a Democratic leaning state. Although my father is very much far right. Um, but the Navy, it showed me that my experience in the Navy was not like did not did not end well. Right. I did 13 years, actually 12 years, 11 months, 361 days in the Navy, and it did not end well. Um, I psyched out. I went a little crazy towards the end. Um, it was wow. Now we're getting deep. We're getting deep here, Mike. Things I talk with my therapist about. So yeah, I psyched out. It was rough. But one thing that stuck with me, the thing that really, I don't, it may not be true at all, but my experience was the Navy didn't care about my family, and I did, and that was our big difference. Um, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. I love the people at my level. The upper management, there were some that were really cool. Don't get me wrong. I had an E8 who I completely adored. That was an awesome, awesome guy. But he went like beyond rank, right? Really cared for his guys. Now I didn't work for this guy, but you could see it, right? Even my chief, my E7, um, as much as he was like gung ho Navy, like 4.0 sailor, he still cared for his division. He cared for his people, and you could see that. I respected that. I respected a lot, but there were certain people in our chain of command that I just absolutely couldn't respect that were near the top. And it really, really got under my skin, especially when towards the end, right? And I like to say that the Navy hated my family and I didn't. And that's really how I felt about it. And then when I got out of the Navy, I started looking at it and going, man, this is a Democrat utopia. You get everything for free, and you have to do very little. I mean, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, but you have to do very actual little work to get everything for free. And I think that's when I really started making that separation. Like I have want nothing to do with that. But because of the bad experiences I had and the mental trauma I went through while I was in the Navy, um, that's my own personal thing, that my own personal issue, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting that you say in the Army, because and I've known actually a lot of people that went into the Army and are very left leaning, which is really, really interesting. I wonder if there's like a correlation between the different branches and the way they lean after service. I wonder if anybody's ever done a study on that. I've tried to find all kinds of studies about military time and different aspects of life, or even different health effects that happen. There's very, very few studies that have been done, which surprises the crap out of me. Um, Maybe I'll push one of my kids in college to focus a study on some of that. But anyway, that's just really, I just dawned on me now. There's a lot of socialist countries. How think about that happen? Yeah, we were laid up on dead man's profile of 6 months and would have finished 8 years. Rough growing up, living in the alley, got beat down. Yeah, and you know what? Like, it's funny that last comment you made there. Rough growing up, got beat down. Army was about structure, provision, and unity. I totally, like, the Navy did that for me. I've talked to my therapist about this. Like, my options were, like, I was really into art in high school. I was going to go to art school. Like, I had a full ride scholarship to SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, but I gave that up because the girlfriend I had at the time didn't want me to go that far away. And then we broke up, and I couldn't get that back. I was like, well, shit, what am I going to do? Um, and the Navy had come calling and said, hey, you're smart. You could be a nuke. Come try out for our nuclear program. Got accepted and did that. So, in retrospect, I look back and go, had I gone to art school, I probably, just based off of the way my, like, I probably would have ended up on drugs and been a complete absolute failure. So the Navy really saved me, um, or the military anyway saved me, and that structure, like boot camp, A school, even nuclear power school, like the structure I had, I'm the worst fucking student in the world. Like I suck. I've tried going to college and like I'm a C student at best, um, because I can't focus. I can't put into that. Maybe it's because it's the low level classes or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But anyway, the Navy forced me to. It was like, this is you have to do this or else. And so it gave me that structure, and like I definitely appreciate that. It was, but what I never learned the lesson though. That's the problem. Is there's a lot of guys that go through and they learn to take that structure and apply it to their life. I've never been able to do that. I mean, look at my shop; it's a complete shit pit. You know what? But this is just like this is my natural self here. Um, but yeah, it definitely it changed my life. It gave me a better life. It made me. It helped me to be successful today. So I definitely appreciate it. But it's all the other shit that was involved with it that really like fucked me up in the head that um, I couldn't deal with. But cordless Hercules, I have a cordless Hercules skill saw or circular saw. Yeah, it's right here. It's the only Hercules tool I have. I like it so far. Like I've used it a shit ton. Wow, getting deep there. Yeah. So yeah, part of the family. Like, man, we're getting deep today. Holy shit, man! You that's what I love watching your channel because you get into some deep shit and like just naturally. I wish I would have. I wish I would have got on early last night. I caught you towards the end, and we had like 5 people on there. There was Pilato and a couple other people. Maybe it was 4 people on there. It was late last night too. I just picked up my son from work. I think. Um, fuck, man, I love it. I love the deep conversations, and especially because you don't put your politics into it. So that makes it all the better, right? It's just a conversation. It's the centrist. I love it. Love it. Almost done with this piece. You have it too. Okay. I have a drill and a router too. Drill and a router too. Okay. Yeah, I almost want to go full Hercules just um because of the price, honestly. But I've got my DeWalt. When this DeWalt finally dies and it doesn't work anymore, when those 20-volt batteries kick out, I think I might switch over to just doing Hercules. And then for my lawn equipment, I'm going Ego. I'm about to buy a. So I have the weed eater that's Ego. I'm about to buy the chainsaw. Um, I might even get the pressure washer, although it's only 2200 psi. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm trying to go a little bit higher than that with an electric. I got rid of my gas powered one. I just could not get that freaking carburetor working. Well, I couldn't get it unbolted. I could have gotten it working. Um, hold on, rotate these around. Yeah, so Ego for yard tools for sure. I went 20-volt Black and Decker. Huh? Black and Decker. I, I've strayed away from Black and Decker. I have not had good luck with their stuff. So curious as to why you went Black and Decker. DeWalt, break them open the same components. Okay. Yeah, I watched God, who was it? There's somebody on YouTube that busted open a bunch of tools and compared them side by side and went like the Harbor Freight stuff is the same thing as everything else. Couple things might be slightly different. Build quality might be not quite as good, but it's close enough. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'm take the mic off because I'm going to go further into the house. Let my wife know that dinner's ready. Oh, sorry about that. I'll probably just chewing on the mic. That dinner I made was that turned out really good. Wow. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting about the Craftsman. Yeah, ever since Lowe's bought them out, they're anything that's not a wrench is pretty much crap. At that point, like you're just paying for a name, honestly. I know Harbor Freight has got to be a lot of Chinese crap, but listen, I pretty much just go with whatever's the cheapest when I need a tool. Otherwise, I buy used when I want a tool. My table saw is a Craftsman that's almost as old as I am. I think it was 1983 when it was made, and it still works, still kicking. I got a lot of other tools like my belt and disc sander. That's a Craftsman, but it's an old Craftsman. It's probably going to kick around for a long time. I like that kind of tool. It's because right here shit parts out. Yeah. Oh well, shit. Did I already return it? I might have. Speaking of shit parts, yeah, I already returned it. So you weren't here, Mike, when I built this. And I really could have used your expertise. ChatGPT helped me, but in this box of random shit is a 100-watt LED that turns on, flashes. I can't solder for crap, but I did get it soldered together. But the boost board that I bought, the original, had failed out of the box. It was just bad. ChatGPT was trying to lead me down to, oh no, it's other components that are bad. It can't be that. It can't be that. I read the reviews on Amazon and said these are shit. Anyway, yeah, it ended up being a bad boost board. Went through a lot of change outs before I finally just believed the Amazon reviews and bought a new one, a different one. I don't understand crap about that though. Like it's been 20 some odd years since I've done anything with solid state electronics, and like I understand the real basics, but to troubleshoot, I don't know anything. So I was relying on ChatGPT, who has helped me build the circuit. I mean, it works. Where is it? What's going on here? Let's see. Where's my button? Where's my bouton? Ah, there it is. Here's my button. Hey, it works. Yay. Oh, shit, that's bright. Now I got to figure out how to charge this stupid battery. Or build a different battery. I'll get a charger for it. Oop, that's done. Yay. But yeah, finally got the electronics to work on that. That took me 8 hours of troubleshooting to make it work. And I still, the thing I hate about it though is I didn't learn anything from it. So it's not like that troubleshooting taught me something. Whereas like at work, I'm learning to code in that's got an Arduino on it. And I have done some stuff with the Raspberry Pi before. But that has an Arduino. It's a very simple code that's in there just to make the flash. I think it's 200 millisecond flash. I'm actually going to lengthen that a little bit. Hold on a second. I'm going to swap out here. Um, yeah, I'm probably going to double that to 400 milliseconds. But hey, Lena, what is up? Hey, I just saw your pictures of, I don't know, something with your baby there, and man, I miss you. I'm dealing with right now. I've got Cody. Well, Coral. I'm not really dealing with Coral. Coral's awesome, but I've got Cody. Every other word is fuck, but he says it in such a way like it sounds mean when he says it, and like I'm actually offended when he says it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, after Cody, well, it's technically Aaron as well, Aaron Mitchell, but he's already been through everything with Eva, and so he's just kind of doing his own thing for now. But after that, like, there's nobody left. There's nobody on the waterfront right now. I was part of the hiring group that hired another 8 people, I think, or 7 people. I can't remember how many we hired. Who knows when they'll come on board though. But yeah, I miss having you around, Lena. Oh my God, you got my last set of memes. I hope. So, Mike, yeah, what I was gonna say was I've been learning to program in Microsoft's Power Apps. So Power Automate, Power, I forget what the other one's called, but Power Apps, Power Flow, and now I'm trying to learn Power BI, but it's limited. I don't know if I can actually use it right now. And then lists. Um, so the crappy thing is I don't have full access to SharePoint. I should. I went to the class, but the way that the turds are where I work, I don't have it. Um, so I'm hoping to get that soon. We'll see. As well as full access to Power BI. But man, they give us all these tools. Then they give us Gemini as far as an AI. So the AI and I have been working. I've been trying to. I'm not trying to use the AI as a tool as much as a learning tool, right? So it's like, hey, let's do this thing. And a lot of times I'll prompt it and say, hey, let's do this next step, this next thought I came up with, but let me try to work it out, right? Because I don't know the full syntax yet. Um, I'm learning as I go, and I'll be like, okay, this is the code I would do for this particular thing, and it's like, oh, you're so close, but you missed this one thing. Like, cool, I'll remember that next time. So I'm doing a lot of learning as I go. Is everyone passing? Um, yeah, so far everybody is doing really well. Rayleigh is kicking ass, by the way. Um, like about a month before she went to school, she realized, oh crap, maybe I should have paid attention and learned this stuff a while ago, like when I was on the waterfront, and really kicked her own ass. So, like, I'm super proud of her. She's doing better than Jeremiah, I think. Jeremiah is very full of himself. Um, but yeah, everybody's passing right now. Man, it's so awesome to see like that name pop up on there, Lena. Like that just makes me so happy. We should get together sometime. We'll have lunch or something. Yeah. All right, so I gotta go get the dinner going. I'm just lasering at this point now, just bullshitting. Mike, thank you so much for popping in today. Love the conversation. I hope to catch you on your next live and continue, whatever it is you got to talk about, you've always got something interesting to talk about. Lena, if you haven't, um, like I don't know how much you're into making stuff. You probably just popped in here because it's me, but check out Mike is making stuff. Check out Two Dudes Woodcraft. They got some awesome channels, and yeah, just shoot me a message, um, Lena, and we'll get together one of these days at lunch. This week I'm super busy, but next week I think I'm mostly free, and probably the week after that as well. Um, but yeah, we'll get together for lunch sometime, and yeah, catch up. All right, cool. Thank you everybody for hanging out, and as always, go make something.